You want to be the one who makes 6, 7 figures, to be the one who your clients love to pay, and to do this on repeat. So, welcome here. This is what you will achieve when we work together. And this life is based on so many things I'm recently seeing online about the business coaching industry, about many business coaches who are, selling kind of vibe, or where the strategy is kind of vague, spaces where you're joining, you're paying thousands of dollars, and you end up like with not exact and not real ROI from this investment. Because when you work with someone as your business coach, as your mentor, or when you're investing in marketing, in sales, and learning these skills, this is supposed to bring ROI very long term, like for a lifetime. And I would like to open this topic because there are many new followers here. Hello everyone, I'm so happy that you are here with me, with us. Welcome. And I want to share with you, who am I, where am I coming from, so you know how to choose better in terms of how you're choosing masterclasses that you're buying, programs that you're investing in, how you're choosing your long-term mentors, etc., regardless if this is going to be me or someone else. But let's talk about that, because look, I have also invested, and it was not always the best investment, although I expected a lot of things, although I had a lot of trust for the mentor, for the program, how everything is structured, and it didn't work the way it should work. If you are new here and you don't know me yet, hi, I'm Marina, and I want to tell you how everything started from me, way before I became an entrepreneur, way before I started working with my clients as a consultant, as a mentor, as a coach, way before that. I want to tell you a very important story about leadership, about the mastery, about how you are building yourself as a CEO, because this is something that is missing so much. We are either speaking for the vibe, and everyone needs to be on the vibe, or we are speaking strategy, when there is, there is a duality in entrepreneurship. It's not just this or just that. You need to be able to make these elements work together as a whole. And I want to tell you about how my first high-ticket sales happened, and how I made my first 6 figures in just a year, even less than a year, when I started. Not to brag or to show off, but so you can see what it actually takes. Because it takes a lot of, inner work. A lot of, you need to be working on your leadership, on your skills, on yourself as a CEO, as someone whose role as a business owner is not just to be a coach or a service provider, but someone who is leading. That's why people are going to follow you. That is why you're going to make revenue and profit. Revenue and profit are byproduct of your leadership, your strategy, and how you're serving the people you're meant to serve and to help. So let me dive in, because in this space, like everyone is looking for, not everyone actually, but many people are looking for the next content hack, the algorithm hack, the one thing that is the secret sauce, the one thing that is going to make my high ticket sales, the one thing that is going to have people buying from me on repeat. And well, yes, there are certain elements in your marketing, in your sales strategy, in your positioning that are, let's say, secret sauce. there are these pieces, and these are tiny. Oftentimes when we do a very tiny shift in your messaging, in a post that you already have, like it feels like magic happens. But this is not just magic happens. This is based on many years of leadership, of real mastery in business and marketing and sales. And these three elements you need in your business to make it successful, to make multi 6 figures, to make multi 7 figures. In my portfolio, I have brands and clients, entrepreneurs, like whether it was product-based or service-based, who made multi 7 figures. But that was not something magical happened here or a quick hack. And let me tell you how it all started, so you can see how this mastery is actually built. So my career started when I was 23 years old. I started as a business manager in an international pharmaceutical company, which was like all my friends, family were, wow, how did she do it, like in a pharmaceutical company, 23-year-old, la 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 la. It was really something mega wow. And you know, it was kind of, I didn't feel it special. I felt like, oh, I have to prove myself now. I know I have certain, you know, strengths. I have certain genius. At that time, it was mainly that I was really very organized, very strategic. I just have this naturally in me. I'm able to see the big picture, and then from this big picture, this big goal, to make this step-by-step process, these actionable items, this, let's say, roadmap or game plan, call it whatever you wish, to make things happen. So that was when I was 23 years old. And that role, business manager, was not the biggest in the company. On paper, it was like, you know, it is these roles where no one is taking seriously, but actually without this role, all the work, all the operational work is going to hell. So I perceive this role extremely seriously, like every single thing that I am doing. And, you know, I love reading these Robin Sharma books and all of this. And they are always saying, regardless of what you're doing, do it as the best thing and the only thing in the world you can do. So that has been my philosophy forever. Whatever I am doing, I'm doing it like the best way possible. I am rarely to never doing things like on the lazy side. This is just who I am. And I see so many people who want to find the quick solution, the shiny object. This is not what is going to make you sustainable business. That is why it happens to you that you have one high cash month, but then it's not sustainable, or it's like that, ups and downs. You'd better have this sustainable growth than having these ups and downs all the time, which is so stressful for your nervous system. And so I started this job, and I was acting and doing this job as if this is the most important role for the whole company. I was sometimes behaving as a CEO of this company, as the marketing manager of this company, as someone who has a very, in terms of not showing off or not being sassy, but in terms of my job is extremely important for this company to run smoothly. And this is what you need to have as this internal state of your mind for your company. Every single thing that you're doing, this piece of content is the most important for me to sell my offer. The positioning of the offer is the most important element for me to sell the offer. It's every single offer is compounding, but when you start considering each and every element of your day-to-day work, every single thing that you're doing, and you start doing it with that conviction and that power, as if this is the most important thing. And I'm not speaking that I'm not saying you should be spending hours and hours on one piece of content, or hours and hours on some insignificant details, like, I don't know, a font or a simple typo that happened somewhere. This is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying take it above and beyond in every single thing that you're doing. Take an extra moment to make that piece of content really speaking to your ideal client, to make the launch plan, the sequences of the posts that you're planning to sell your offer. Take an extra moment. Again, this doesn't mean spend 10 hours on each and every piece of content, or drag things like forever. I'm not saying be perfect. This is not about perfectionism, not at all, just the opposite. See the big picture and lead like a CEO. Lead like a CEO, regardless what your current state is. So whatever you're doing, this is the main point here, do it with total conviction, with complete leadership, with knowing each and every step compounds to my long-term sustainable growth of my company. And if you are right now selling an offer, you're kind of in a launch phase, let's say, take an extra moment and look at your posts. How is your storytelling post look? Is there a transformation there? How is your sales post looking? Is the CTA clear and calling these people who are ready for the transformation? Are you actually thinking of the plan of your content, or you're just throwing pieces of content here and there? This is what I want to tell you. And let's get back to my story. So I was doing this job, business manager or whatever it was called, as if it is the most important role to help the company move forward. And this conviction, this leadership was noticed. The director, the marketing manager, everyone was noticing the way I give all my heart and soul, and the way I care so much, the way I give so much, the way I am serving, and they were, but because I'm multidimensional, just like you, since you're here, this means you're very multidimensional entrepreneur. I was not stopping, just there. I was naturally constantly suggesting something for the products. Why don't you do this campaign? Why don't you do this share of voice? Why don't you position it like that? Even before I was not thinking of it as marketing, these ideas were naturally coming to me. And when they were saying, for example, sales are not as expected or something like that, and I was constantly giving some ideas from what I have heard from the product managers, the brand managers, the sales team, the marketing team, and I was giving ideas. And again, that was not my role. No one was asking me, I was not supposed to do this, but I was doing this again from the desire to move this company forward. And many people would say, you're crazy to do it. No one is paying you to do this. And yes, they were not paying me to do this. But do you know what happened? I was constantly offered to become part of the marketing team. Everyone was telling me, you need to come in the marketing team. You have great ideas. You know how to sell. You know how to position things in a way that you always get them. And even my fiance is constantly telling me, you have an incredible ability to receive things always, to get anything that you wish. The way that you speak of it, the way that you are saying it, the way that you're positioning it, you have an incredible ability to get everything that you want. And do you know why? First of all, I am doing this in favor of everyone. It's win-win. It's win-win. I'm not doing anything just for myself. When I'm selling my offers, my programs, my work, I know you need this. I know it's going to serve you. It is going to skyrocket your business. Every single thing from, even if we take Scale Like a CEO Masterclass, this masterclass was born because I see so many entrepreneurs who are stuck in over delivery and undercharging, and you are just not leading like a CEO of the company. You are not making actions to secure your profit. Yes, you earn good money on paper, but then you're treating your company like, and your work like just giving without thinking long term for the sustainability of your income. And you are constantly in a situation where, okay, you earn great money, but after you pay the team, after you pay all softwares that you're using to deliver your job and your work professionally, after all other investments, whether it's going to be your mentor, your coach, ads, or whatever, you often end up with a very low profit. And this is because your leadership needs to evolve completely. This is because, yes, you're serving, but you are not leading. And the reason that your clients are not constantly upgrading and wanting to be around you, to be in your spaces, to be like to buy everything your company sells, is because your leadership needs to evolve. And how is this connected to my origin story, to what I'm telling you? Why do you think I was offered to become a part of the marketing team? Because of my leadership, of the way I serve, and the way I think long term for the company. For the company. This was the reason I have been offered. And it didn't take long time that I was not only asked to join the marketing team, but I was offered to become a brand manager. Why a brand manager? Not just anything in marketing. Because of my abilities to see the big picture, to be creative, to be able to strategize in 3 minutes. I was constantly going to the marketing manager's office and I was telling her, wow, look, this is so cool. Why don't you do this and this and this for that product? And I was, in 3 minutes, like straight, I was giving a whole plan, a whole strategy for a campaign, with offline, with online, with all of this. And she was like looking at me like this, when are you going to come here in marketing to work with us? And I was doing this naturally. But again, this is leadership. This is strategic vision. This is CEO level of leadership. This is it. And when you're choosing your mentors, be careful to choose based on mastery. So what happened after there was a new role open for a brand manager? I applied and I was selected. I was chosen from many other more experienced colleagues. And guess what happened? That was the real test for my leadership. That was the real test for my skills, for who am I. Because this is pharmaceuticals. It's not like selling lifestyle products or any other product. Pharmaceuticals are one of the most heavily restricted. It is very, very difficult to market these products. Very difficult, trust me. You're also, like, in the different countries, it's different. For the example, in the US, you can market like cardiology, but in Europe, you cannot market prescription products. And again, here is very important, who is your target audience? How are you positioning your product to this target audience? And there are different specifics to each and every product. So this was a real test for me to learn, okay, I have the natural ability to be a leader. I have the natural ability to to be creative, to give ideas, to strategize, but it is different because then you have sales plans and you have one big number, like, I don't know, a couple of millions, and you need to break this sales plan, this business plan, to work with the business plan, to build the marketing strategy that is going to help you to create this demand, to work with the sales team who is going to give the sales conditions and terms to the partners. So it's extremely comprehensive, and it's, many people think I'm just posting on the internet and I'm going to make millions. No, this is not how it works. There are so many elements, and I'm not telling you so it seems difficult to you, or it seems I'm going to give up because there are so many things. But the reason that you oftentimes buy these shiny objects is because you're being said it's going to be very easy. Yes, it's not that difficult when you know it, when you have the right support, when you have the right order in which you're doing the things, and when you're working with someone who knows these specifics and is able to really lead you to this. When you're able to go through your inner fears, everything that is standing in your way. And someone would say, wow, she became brand manager and it was cool. Yes, it was cool. But I also faced a situation where I had to seriously work on my leadership. Till this moment, I was friend to everyone. It was fun. And suddenly I had to become an authority. And you're not becoming an authority just because you have a new role. People don't trust you just because you have a new role. And it is the same on social media. You need to show these people you are the leader who can lead them, who can help them achieve the big goal, the big business plan, the big number. You need to become known that you're a leader. And that was the real test for me. And this is besides that, I have natural leadership in me. Okay, that's great. But it's completely different when you have to lead other people, when you have to build a marketing strategy for a brand and to lead this brand. And if this brand has good results and you need to scale it, you have to prove yourself. And like this, there were 6 months where I was not sleeping and eating because I had to work on myself as a leader, myself as a manager, myself as an authority, to build myself, to learn all the things about these products. And it was cool. Very soon, my strategy started skyrocketing, the benchmarks, all products were having great results, the team started respecting me, but only I know what this costed me. And trust me, it costed me a lot. I had to learn a lot of things. I had to to leave my ego on the side. And I had to do a lot of inner work. And at some point, things started to develop really well, great sales, things were really nice. But the next bottleneck was that in corporate, you have a limit of your income. And regardless how great your sales are, you are constantly hearing, we cannot raise your salary now. We cannot do it now. We cannot do it now. Why? When I have these results, well, your results are great, but we cannot. And at some point that started reflecting me, my self-esteem, like I was okay, but when I have great results, why things are not happening. And that's when I also understood another lesson for my leadership. That was when I found out that you could have great results. And this doesn't mean people are going to approve you. The more boundaries you set, the more people don't like it. And I was still, I don't know, 28 or 29 maybe, or around 30. And then was like, my leadership got another hit. Okay, I'm doing everything great. I'm better than ever. Like the team respects me like never before. The results, the sales are like never before. What's happening? Why my income is not reflecting it? So I had again to think on my leadership and to lead myself through this. And then came the decision, I'm going to quit. And that was not an easy decision. And then while I was still in corporate, I started working with a couple of people who were entrepreneurs having their businesses or wanted to have their businesses, but they were not fully able to monetize it. They didn't know how to market themselves. And it was really nice, because I was seeing some people plateauing at a certain income level, not because they weren't good enough or great in what they're doing, but because no one ever showed them how to think and lead like a CEO and to map their messaging, buyer journey, etc. And this is how I started. And how their sales started skyrocketing. And then more and more clients were like rolling in. They started having great results, but also I want to tell you that behind the 70K months, the 100K months, the $1 million months, there were also many challenges behind the scenes, and we had to navigate it, and we did. So choose based on mastery, choose based on the results that your mentor have created for other people, what they have been through, not just some shiny objects. And I know it's difficult, but it's not impossible to know this. Do we have any questions? So what is your takeaway from this live? The takeaway is that leadership is extremely important. You need to know that you are the CEO of your company. This isn't about my story. It's about you seeing what's possible when you stop trying to duct tape some hacks together and to finally build your business like a premium brand. But this comes from your leadership. This comes from your leadership, and you back all this up with a strategy. When you think like a CEO, when you can map out the buyer journey, the positioning, the messaging of each and every post. Because you need to know that, okay, I'm telling you the story from the nice side, but it was not easy while I was climbing. I also failed many times. I got rejected many times. But then I learned how to lead and how to make these record-breaking sales. And with clients also, we are facing challenges. Most of the clients who I work with are already at 200, 300K years, or I don't know, scaling from 15 millions to 100 millions. And I'm not joking. These clients don't need another tactic, but what I see they need is that they scaled very fast. Things happened quickly, like it happened to me, but then you need to start thinking differently. And in this case, you need someone who is going to see the full sales picture, to structure it, and to get you out of this hamster wheel. Someone who is going to be able to tell you, look, right now you need to elevate the way you're leading. Right now you need to step in your CEO role. You need to take care of what is happening inside of your business as well. And for example, I want to tell you something that in corporate, things are happening with structure and repeatable systems. And if these companies are using structured and repeatable systems, it's not because, they just love it. It is because this is how it works. It is because this is how it works. In corporate boardrooms, things are not based on vibe. No. Things are not based on shiny objects. Things are based on strategies, business plans, sales systems. And this is what you need. You need to choose spaces. If you want to make multi-6 figures, multi-7 figures, choose spaces that are based on structure, on business mastery, on real marketing strategy, real experience and expertise over this hype, because this is the real shortcut to freedom and bigger sales. It's real mastery. Your mentor have been through all of it, different sizes of businesses, different niches. Okay, I didn't have a very structured script for today, so maybe I got a little bit too much in different directions, but that's the reality. You need to learn how to map out your business strategy, marketing strategy, and to lead like a CEO, because you're not going to, to go to record-breaking sales, whatever this currently looks for you, on some hacks or shiny objects. I'm telling you, corporate boardrooms don't run on hacks. They run on strategy and structure. This means your business is really clearly structured from the big picture, from the vision, through each and every CEO decision, leadership, that you are implementing, and your team, your clients are seeing this and they want to work with you for this and to be around your orbit and will be lining up to pay you. And then when every single thing behind the scenes is structured and strategized, this is what your people are going to see on the surface, meaning on the, external edge, meaning your content, your positioning, your messaging, your offers. But you need to build this structure inside first, and your leadership. So hire mentors, join spaces, or buy masterclasses, whatever you do, choose based on mastery, on experience, on expertise. This matters. Do not think each and every shiny object or the next content hack is going to make you millions. It's not. What it's going to make you millions is when you structure it, and when you break down the big picture into step-by-step processes, and you do it consistently with conviction, knowing that each and every step is compounding. Thank you for being with me. Let me know if you need anything in the comments. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. If you're watching the replay, put the hashtag replay, send me an emoji, and thank you for your time.